Hey everybody, and welcome back to Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, Jackie Letty, you're still in Lake Jackson, and we're going to start grilling some meats, man. Like, we've done a little bit here and there, and I've shown you a lot of vegetable stuff, but this is one of my favorites to always go to because it sticks in your teeth, so it acts as a meal later. That's exceptionally gross, and I apologize. Before we get into it, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to all the YouTube-y stuff, and remember, there's a link down the thing for our merch. Like, we've got aprons here that looks like I'm all in what I'm wearing, but I swear I got this tank top thing on because I'm trying to work on the tan in the Texas heat without just catching fire. But we got fake spatulas, spoons, flippers, all kind of stuff. Link down the doobly-doo. We're a small business. We appreciate it. And let's just get into the food because this is going to be good, man. I lucked out and found some cheap stuff. This is going to be great. Let's do the thing. All right, it's too hot for sleeves, but I lucked out and I found these things of ribs. There's like 2 sets of ribs in these things, and they're like $3, man. Without having to get a coupon. Check it out. There's like $3 and some change, right? So this is amazing. It's gonna be great. It's kind of hard to get those, but you want those to be nice and defrosted. For one of these things, you need your Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Look, even the camera can't even pronounce it. It's just blurry. That's what you get. It's the worst. Whatever, don't have to use it. I'm going to show you a couple of different things that we use here, man. Like, I like an Italian seasoning, just a bourbon molasses rub, which is going to be great. Garlic and black pepper, which is always good. Now I'm going to show you a neat thing to do with the curry and the Worcestershire sauce. And then these are some of my favorites too. Just get you some minced garlic, some spicy chili oil kind of stuff. And I want to try some of this, the onion butter rub stuff. I'm going to marinate all these in plastic bags. I want to show you how I'm going to do this. So make sure that they're all nice and thought out, okay? I'm going to show you 4 different of these. You don't have to do them all, just pick one and go with it, or you can do multiples or whatever. But get you a nice sharp knife. Shout out to Scott for giving me the cleaver here. And I'm just going to cut these down to where they'll fit inside my Ziploc baggies. Just cut in between where the bone is, just kind of poke around and find out where those are. Now, this is 2 packages, so there's about $6 of this. I'm going to cut it down into 4 different sections here. Now, but again, if you can get like the big bags, or you just want to make it out of aluminum yourself, aluminum foil down here in the Texas, or if you want to get some plastic wrap or something just to marinate them overnight, that's fine. You don't have to cut these down. I do these just because it's easier to fit in my small sandwich bags, and I'm doing multiple batches. That's why I'm doing it this way. Don't have to do this way. Totally optional, up to you. So I'm going to use these sandwich bags, and now this first one, I'm going to show you just to do a bourbon molasses rub. Now, always be sure to use the pour spout, because if you're done shaking, you're going to take forever. When you do any kind of a rub, generally I like to do it on like my cheaper meats if I don't want to taste it. I'm sorry, I knocked my mic around. But just go ahead and pour it on here as heavy as possible, and then you're actually going to try to massage it into the meat a bit. This is one of the few times you can actually get away on YouTube by rubbing your meat, but I digress. So just try to get all the sides on this. Try not to lose it. If it gets on the cutting board or whatever you're doing, on the countertop or the plate you're using, whatever, be sure to just mush it into the other side. It sticks pretty well to the ribs. They don't have to be like soaking, dripping wet or whatever. Just the meat itself is usually enough to hold it on there. Try to get on the edges, try to get on the sides, and when you're done, scrape it off and just rest it on the top of the meat if you want it. So get you a bag, put these in here, but then let that sit, all right? We're going to put it in the refrigerator for 2 minutes to overnight. I like doing mine overnight, but just put it in there, put it 2 hours, and you're good. And let's do another one. Like, I'm going to show you how to do this wet one real quick. You're going to do it while it's in the bag. So I just divvy these up into 2 sections apiece. Get you some chili oil. Now, don't have to use chili oil. You can use really any kind of oil. Chili oil makes it spicy, and it doesn't take away too much of the flavor of the meat because of the oil. Now, it does add a lot of peppers to it. This is one of those things, like, you better make sure people that are going to eat this like spice stuff, because that's what it's going to do. So be sure to dig out and be sure to get some of that actual chilies in there as well. Get your minced garlic. Clean off your spoon before you stick it in here. You don't want to go straight for the chili oil to your garlic. That's a horrible idea, because now your entire thing of garlic has like spice to it, man. Like, I don't mind it. Now this is where I added a little bit of the butter onion just to add an extra flavor to it, and a little bit of salt, okay? You can just do straight salt. You don't have to marinate any of these ribs you want, but I like adding a little flavor to them, especially when I get these super cheap ones. Again, now you put it in the bag, make sure it's sealed. Make sure it's sealed all the way across, and then you're going to toss it, rub it, make sure everything in there gets coated. Generally, you can tell once the bag is coated, everything in there can get touched with it, so just keep spinning it. Now you're going to put this in the fridge and then turn it every 2 hours or so. So leave it in there for 2 hours, turn it or take it out, or leave it in there overnight and every 2 hours pull it out. Now this one's a trick that I use. I got this Italian seasoning. Now, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I use it as a dry rub on ribs. Like, it's amazing. I learned it putting it on super cheap steaks when I was broke AF. Just take it and do it like your other stuff. Like, this is just proven that you can use any kind of seasoning really for ribs, okay? Again, use this as a rub. Be sure to cover every area that you can with it. Is it's going to look really great. This looks gorgeous. I think I'm going to try to use this one as a thumbnail for this. This or the chili oil, because of the chili stuck to it, it makes it look really great on a picture. So you got to add it to Instagram, do the same thing. Again, once you rubbed it down, put it in your bag, put it in the fridge for 2 hours or overnight. Turn it every 2 hours if you leave it overnight, okay? Now, this last one, this is the experimental one that I want you guys to try. You can try it on any kind of meat with this ribs. It's cheap enough, and I love it on here. All right, it's going to be another wet one, so go ahead and add it to your bags, container, whatever you're putting your marinating stuff in. All right, ribs I like to marinate because it can get super tough and it gets stringy, so I like to marinate it down. So grab your Worcestershire, the brown stuff with the woogie woogie woo, that's what I'm calling it from now, and take it and put it in there about 2 tablespoons, right, up to flavor. Now get your curry, like the curry powder. Now douse this in here. Now it's going to start sticking to your plastic real easy, and it's really strong, so if you're not a big fan of curry, I'd suggest staying away from this one completely. But if you want something different and a little spicy, try this. Just curry powder and the wiggy wiggy woo, and put it in there. Make sure it seals. See how that doesn't seal real well? You'll end up slinging this all over your house, and it's going to smell like curry and Worcestershire, the wiggity stuff, the rest of your days, man, until you move or it burns down. So be sure to toss these, let them marinate for 2 hours or overnight, and if you're going to leave them overnight, turn them every 2 hours, give them a little massage, rub your meat, and the meat will love you for it, okay? Now we're outside, and now it looks like a dream because Texas, I have condensation in my camera, so when I brush this down, it looks like a dream, like I'm dreaming that I get to brush down the grill because it's a public grill. Now I'm going to show you how to do it on a gas one. If you're going to do it in charcoal, just make sure they get down to gray. Before you start them, you want to try to keep it at about 300 degrees. All right, if you're going to do this in an oven, 300 degrees, usually 30 minutes per pound is from what I've been taught. I don't like to overcook them. Whoop. And I lit that on camera just for you guys because everybody's worried that I'm going to blow myself if I got with these. So make sure you put it all on low. This cooks heavily in the back, so you're going to be careful. I thought I had video of me putting these on here, but just put them on here, leaving it low, 300, and you're going to let it sit for 10 minutes. Just check them every 10 minutes. Kind of come in here and you see where these lines are going to start lining up. Now, don't flip them every 10 minutes. I flipped them about every 20, and these took about 45 minutes all total. This is really easy, but if they start cooking more in the back, because that's like this one has most of the fire in the back when it's on low, the ones in the back will cook faster. So if that starts cooking and the ones in the front aren't cooking fast enough, just alternate them out. But you want to leave it on there, keep it low, again about 300. If it's getting too high, go ahead and turn one of the grills off, or if you're using charcoal, just move the charcoal to one side or then move the meat away from the charcoal. You get in here, these are starting to look, they smell gorgeous. They'll start bringing people to the pool, man. You'll be the most popular person in the world. Start flipping these over. You can see how it's not getting those high-end grill marks on one side, so just go ahead and leave it down. You can feel the texture. If you've cooked meat before, it starts getting, like more solid, not like wadded up hard, but it's still got a little bit of bend to it. That means there's still juice in it. That's where you want to leave it. Again, this was about 45 minutes, and I let them sit for another 5 on the grill after I killed the heat. The fire that was down there was just the grease that dripped off of them, still burning. Pull those off. You let them rest, slice them, cook them right off the bat. I ate at least 2 of these before I even got the picture, so I apologize before I got the big set of pictures, but this is what I got. These turned out amazing. I liked all the different flavors. The curry and the Italian seasoning are absolutely amazing. The chili oil and the garlic is one of my favorites. It's just top notch. And then, the bourbon molasses stuff, if you're looking for a classic rub, you can use any kind of rub. Just salt and pepper on these work if that's your kind of stuff. But this is just beef ribs. It's super easy at 300 degrees. Put them on there. It's great for meal prep if you need to do them later. Like you could reheat them really well. Ribs are really good. I like marinating because they can get tough, right? This is well under our budget at just like $6 just for the ribs, so you can put it next to just about anything and stay under our $10 budget. Gotta let me know if you try these, man. Any of these marinades or just the beef ribs in itself. And there you have it, folks. It's an easy way to make a bunch of different flavored kind of beef ribs. You can just come do them all if you want, but yeah, that's amazing. Again, most meat is kind of fire and forget, so I know this video is a little short. It's not necessarily fire and forget, but it's just fire and then flip every 10 or so minutes. So anytime you catch Dad standing over the grill like, no, I gotta do this, he's probably just not wanting to do whatever you're gonna do. So that's how we do it. If you do it differently, want to let us know, put it down in the comments. That's what they're there for. You can also find us on all the social medias: Facebook, Pinterest, Patreon. We're at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen across there. Also at Instagram at Living Between. We had to shorten it. I'm at all those, including Twitter and TikTok. And I'll catch y'all next time, man. Y'all be safe. My battery's dying. This took too long, way too long.